Fasting has been one of the major spiritual exercise that we observe as Christians, even in the Christendom. And it is of an utmost importance, even as children of God, just as Apostle Paul was speaking, saying that one thing I do, I put my body under, a way of subjecting our flesh. And that is what fasting does to us spiritually. Also, Prophet Isaiah talking about the kind of fasting that the Lord is expected of all of us as his children. The children of God. And it is worthy of note this season, that several church denominations across different beliefs, people do fasting. And coming down home, the Redeemed Christian Church of God, we are currently in the mood of fasting, observing 100 days, fasting. And in all of this, we need to educate ourselves, because Scripture speaking, saying that my people are perished because of lack of knowledge. There are some informations we need to get as concerning fasting, so that rather than being of harm, it will be of benefit to us, both spiritually and physically. And right now, we are going to be looking at the health benefits of fasting, even as we engage in fasting, even outside 100 days. There are some of us who do fast regularly, even whether it's within the 100 days or outside 100 days, and many other times people do fast. So we want to consider health benefits of fasting. My name is Mike Adekunle, and to help us make sense of all these I've just talked about, I have with me a practicing medical doctor. It's no other person than Dr. Abiodun Adelowo. He will be discussing with us today, opening our understanding to what we need to know in a very short while, all we need to know as concerning fasting, and how fasting can be of benefit to our health. Good to have you, doctor.
Thank you, sir.
And how are you doing, sir?
I'm very good. Thank you for
his ministry and family and all that.
Thank God.
Yeah, thank you for coming up with this wonderful initiative to enlighten our viewers, to ensuring believers and everyone in the body of Christ to know that there are benefits, health benefits, when we talk about fasting. Fasting is not only when we just decide to say, okay, we want to seek the face of God and we want to abstain from food and bodily pleasures, but then there are benefits that we could get when we fast. So let's start straight away looking at some of these benefits. But then I would like to start by asking you, what is fasting to you?
Okay, from the medical view, fasting means keeping away from food for a particular season or few hours, just to get the benefit that it entails. That's spiritual or health benefits.
Okay, now let's look at it this way. For us to get a good benefit health-wise as concerning fasting, how should it be approached? In the sense that, what are the rudiments around it? Okay, when should we start? How should we start? How should we break? How can we continue in it and all that around fasting before we start talking about how it could be of benefit to us?
Thank you very much. Before I answer your question, I'd like to say that despite the advances in medical field, we have made a lot of progress in the medical line. We have found solutions to a lot of health conditions and all that. But despite that, many conditions are still on the rise, especially these chronic conditions, hypertension, diabetes, cancer, and etc. They are still on the increase. So we have been looking for solutions aside our medicine to be able to find out things to do about it. I could remember about 2 weeks ago, a patient came to my office for a review. And by the time I reviewed his medication, he's presently taking 11 medications every day. You can see that is not sustainable. A lot of cost implications and even the quality of his health. And this is one of the reasons why we have been exploring other means of people getting benefits and aside medication. And one of the things that we have found out that can work is fasting. Now, going to answer your question that how should we approach fasting like that. So it just depends on the fasting you are engaging in. So if we should pick this typical 100 days fasting that we are doing, I should use the regular one of morning and fasting in the
like
morning.
daily.
Yes, daily.
Starting from
the daily
12 midnight
Yes,
to
sir.
6 p.m.
Yes.
Now, do people call it 6 to 6?
6 to 6.
So I would like you
Yes,
to
sir.
also.
Yes,
help us
we
understand.
actually prefer that people start from that 12 midnight to 6
Yeah.
p.m. because we know that the longer the hours of fasting, the more the benefits that people get from it. So we don't want the idea that people start from 6 a.m. that some actually do, and by 6 p.m. they are breaking. We prefer that it actually start from that 12 midnight.
So some
and they
people
break
could
it.
wake up as early as say 5 a.m., 5:30 to
Yes.
say they want to eat,
Yes.
so that their fast can start from
Yes,
6
yes,
a.m.
yes.
to break by 6 p.m.
Yes,
Wow.
some do that, and some even they will not even they will observe theirs from 12. But by the time they are breaking their fast by 6 p.m., they will eat a lot of food and heap of food just to ensure that they say in quote, they want to keep their tank full to be able to engage,
continue the next
to
day.
engage in fasting the next day. But we have noticed that this is not actually beneficial. It's not necessary. They just need to ensure that they get a balanced diet that ensure that all the component of food is there and they are okay.
All right, so now let's look at it this way. Now, considering daily fasting, there are some that do daily, say 12 to 6 p.m.,
Yes, sir.
12 midnight to 6 p.m., and there are some that do it continuously, like the ones we call marathon right now. Which one is of more benefit? And in all of this, like I said, how should it be approached? If I'm doing a daily fasting from 12 a.m. to 6 p.m., how should I break? What should I break with? That I will still get the health benefit. If I'm going on a long fasting, marathon fasting right now, how should I approach it? What should I break with? What should I eat? What should I not eat? So that I can still get the health benefit.
Thank you very much. What we normally tell people we are going on marathon fasting is that you need to see your doctor first. Let your doctor check you. There are some health conditions that will demand that you adjust your medications before you go on marathon fasting. So your doctor will check you and advise you, oh, this drug, you have to adjust the dose of this drug so that it won't harm you, because there's some medicine you should not take on empty stomach. And there's some that you can take on empty stomach but need some adjustment. So you need to engage your doctor, find out your health, how the state of your kidney, your blood pressure level, your blood sugar level, and from there, you can, when you seek the advice of your doctor, you can start the marathon fasting. Then we tell people that regardless of the type of fasting you are doing, that water is very, very essential. Water is life, as we say. That you must ensure you have enough water in your body all the time, because the kidney can be compromised if people don't take enough water, and different things can go wrong in the body when people don't take enough water. Unfortunately, things like marathon fasting and many of these fasting that people engage in, after a while, body tends to down-regulate the craving for water and food. And some people, they feel that because they are less thirsty, that they don't need water again. But we know that from science, it shouldn't be. That regardless, you must always be conscious of your water. And we tell people that ensure you get about 2 to 3 liters of water every day. Either you are fasting or you are not fasting. So that is what we always tell people.
Now, let's speak to breaking the fast right now. Now, there are some that they break their fast, very erratic, very, very, in a manner that can also be injurious to one's health. Now, what can we break our fast with? What should we not break our fast with?
Thank you very much. And that is a very, very important question. Now, what we note is that many people, when they are breaking their fast, they just pick whatever they see. Some end up taking these sugar-sweetened beverages to break their fast. Some takes a lot of sugar, take tea, beverages. Some takes a lot of fast food, processed food. Some even end up taking biscuits, cake to break their fast, a lot of fries to break their fast. And these are the things that we note that they are not healthy for the body because they can't be injurious to the body. They have their own preservatives, there are chemicals that body find difficult to deal with in the first place. Now, when they now come to the body, your body will now start battling some of the chemicals in this food when your body is meant to be healing itself. So they are not healthy in the long run. And aside that, many of them don't have enough nutrients in them. They're just packed with what they call calorie. We call them calorie-dense food. Okay. And this calorie, body converts them to energy and store them in the liver. And the next day, by the time your body is meant to be healing itself and mopping up or melting the fats in the body and all that, the body is battling, dealing with that, a lot of sugar that you have packed in the liver. So we are saying that, no, all those food are not necessary. So what we tell people is that aside the water that you should take very, very important, you should ensure that you plan your meal and you should make sure there's fruit when you are breaking fast. Vegetable when you are breaking fast. These are very, very important. Fruit must be on your plate. Vegetable must be on your plate. Less processed food. Your food, yes, you can eat your rice, you can eat your gari, you can eat your eba, you can eat your yam and all that, but don't make them too processed. Take your fish and all that, but ensure that your table is always balanced with all the major food, and just don't go for the sugary ones. I also have nuts, and they are very, very good for you.
Now, since this program is not interactive in the sense that some of those who are watching us right now could, call in or ask us questions directly, let me kind of, ask some questions that they may want to ask. Let's speak to acid complex in the body when fasting. I know that there is a residual or there is a secretion of hydrochloric acid, HCl, and when I want to fast right now, what are some drinks I must not drink that are acidic in nature? What are some fruits I must not take that are acidic in nature to avoid acid complex in the body, which may eventually result to possibly ulcer and other, health deficiency in the body?
Thank you very much. You made a very vital point. Many people that have exacerbation of their ulcer when they are fasting is actually because of what they ate during the feeding period or feeding window that is making the ulcer to come up. And what are the things that they tend to eat during the feeding period that can make them to have the ulcer? Is when they take a lot of, as I said, when they take all these processed food, when they take a lot of a lot of calorie food. How does that work? When you take a lot of calorie, your body secretes insulin in response as part of the mechanism, and insulin tends to make you get hungry. So, and even when you are no more eating, the insulin is still in your body and takes time for you to go down back to its level. And by the time the insulin is there, you still have this craving and still hunger, and many times then your body secretes the chemicals in response, all this acid that you said in response, and when you are not eating, and then you can exacerbate the ulcer. There are other things that people take a lot of fries during the feeding one, or they take a lot of spicy food when they are eating. All this spicy food and fries during the eating period many times end up making people to have exacerbation of ulcer. Another thing, drink. As you said, taking the caffeinated drinks, a lot of coffee. When people take coffee during when they are eating, it starts a way of causing imbalance that can make them to now have exacerbation of ulcer when they are feeding. So we tell people that, look, you have tendency of having ulcer or have tendency of having gastritis. Ensure you keep away from caffeinated drinks. Reduce your spicy food. Reduce your fried food. And so that the possibility of you having exacerbation of ulcer or gastritis will be reduced. So that is what we tell people.
All right, so I will still want you to talk on water, the essentiality of water, how important it is, whether it is 12 to 6 p.m. fast or a marathon fast. Because some believe that, they call marathon fast, they call it dry fasting. So dry fasting is dry fasting. It has to be dry. It has to be without water. It has to be dry. It has to be dry. Now, and I know Redeem, which we belong to, the denomination, our church doesn't go against, taking of water when we fast, especially long fast, such as, a 100-day fast in which we are right now. We could do that. Now, I would like you to help us make sense of the essence, how important water is during fasting. Then help us now look into what are these benefits, health benefits that we are looking at while fasting. We are fasting, we are looking emaciated, looking lean, looking weak and all that. So how beneficiary could that be to my health, apart from the spiritual aspect?
Thank you very much. So let me talk about water. And health. As we all know, that majority of our body is actually water. And water is very, very essential to the normal process, the different process that takes place in our body. So because of that, body always requires some level of water at any time for it to function properly. And once people go dehydrated, many of those processes go wrong. So let me pick example, the kidney. The kidney is that part of our body that filters waste and dirt and pass them out through urine. Now, it needs a lot of water for that process to take place. Now, if the kidney doesn't see enough water, many times it starts malfunctioning. Even some of the chemicals that are meant to pass through it, some of them tend to settle on the kidney when there is not enough water that's pushing them through. It's just like our regular tap in the house.
Okay.
We notice that after a while, if you open the tap, maybe you have not been using the tap for a while, or you have been packing a lot of dirt in the zinc.
Yeah.
If you open it after a while, you notice that the water is not flowing as effectively. It will stay away a bit in the zinc before it moves through, because some residues from your food and all those ones settles in the pipe. That exactly can happen in the kidney too. And so you need water to always flush out those residues and those insoluble things away from your body. So if you are not taking enough water, those things will settle in the kidney and causes blockage. They can even cause kidney stones. And after a while, the kidney starts functioning, and it can even lead to kidney disease and kidney failure. So this is one of the reasons why we keep emphasizing that when you are fasting, you should ensure you take enough water. Now let's talk about the benefits. We have noticed that enormous benefits of fasting. And I'll mention few because of our time. The first one, which is many people know, and you have alluded to, is the fact that people tend to lose weight when you fast, and which we always want people to.
Oh, now, you always want people to lose weight,
yes,
actually.
We want people to lose weight. You see, obesity has now been categorized as a disease. Because we know that...
A disease of great concern by WHO.
Yes, because once people become obese, different wrong things take place in the body, different negative things take place in the body that are not beneficial. So because of that, we don't want people to get obese. And aside that, obesity is also called a gateway disease. What it means is that it opens the gate for many other diseases to come in. Just because the patient is obese, hypertension comes in, different cancer can come in, heart disease, diabetes, all of them can come in. So because of that, we want people to lose weight. And many nowadays now, people now use medications, use herbal supplements to lose weight, which we don't recommend.
And this fasting can do naturally.
Can do that. And make them even to sustain the weight loss. So that's why we are saying that, look, take advantage of this fast, and you get the benefits of weight loss, and you don't have to take the route and get all the side effect of taking all these medications, and you get the benefits. So that is one of the things. Another thing that we see that is highly beneficial is actually that people that have the tendency of developing high blood pressure, or people that even develop high blood pressure, we have noticed that fasting tends to help. And how does fasting help people with high blood pressure? It's because one of the things that happen in high blood pressure is something called inflammation. Yes, the little swellings that take place in the body, and this inflammation many times can make the blood pressure to shoot up or to rise. So, and fasting calms down inflammation. It reduces inflammation. Another thing is that there's a chemical called nitric oxide that once the body has this chemical, it expands the blood vessels, allowing blood to flow very well. So we always want the body to secrete these chemicals in enough quantity. And during fasting, studies have shown that body tends to secrete enough of these chemicals, making the blood vessels to increase in size so that blood vessels flow very well. Then there are other many things that mechanism through which fasting makes the blood pressure to go down. So people that are hypertensive, you now see those that apply the right technique with fasting, some of them even end up reducing their hypertensive medication. And those that have the tendency before that are not yet hypertensive, it drops back to normal. So this is one of the benefits. Same with heart disease. Heart disease is on the increase. In fact, Sub-Saharan Africa is presently experiencing an epidemic of heart attack, stroke, and etc. And we know that fasting also helps, because what happens in this condition, primarily what happens is that there is what they call endothelial damage. The inner of the blood vessels that supply the heart and the vessels that move around the body, they are damaged over the years due to different exposures they come in contact with. Then after that, they change. We call it atherosclerosis. The vessels change and they are not healthy again. So blood doesn't flow very well. They don't do their function again. Blood doesn't flow around the heart again. And these are some of the things that can accumulate to heart attack, stroke, etc. But we know that with fasting, when body needs food and needs to eat something, it ends up eating up all those things that have clogged the blood vessels, and it repairs the blood vessels. And many times blood flows better. And
so just touch on cancer and autophagy we mentioned earlier.
Yes. So we also know that some studies have now even linked regular fasting with the lesser risk of people having cancer. And because of what you said, called autophagy, which means self-eating. When the body doesn't have enough food from external source to eat, it tends to feed on itself. It's called autophagy. The scientists that noticed it was given a Nobel Prize in 2016 for finding out this concept called autophagy. And when body will not eat the good cells first. It first of all eat the rogue cells. It first of all eat part of the body that are not functioning well. And many times it's the cancer cell you target when they're still in their very minute stage, when they're yet to develop, even when tests cannot pick them out. The body will feed on them and eat them up. And so because of that, it reduces the risk of people developing some cancers, especially the lifestyle-related cancers. So that we have noticed. Even diabetes. Fasting can help people to control their diabetes because of what they call insulin sensitivity. It increases the sensitivity of insulin, making sugar to move from the blood to the cells. This is what we have noticed. Another important benefit that we have noticed is that it makes people to live longer and healthier. And that might even be one of the reasons why you see some of these men of God like that, the Jews that fast regularly, that despite their age, you see that they are still looking healthy. And because we have known that there's a difference between what they call calendar age and biological age. Now, fasting makes that some of the chemicals that body releases with time as you age, that makes people to old.
Yeah, to get...
Yes, they call them free radicals. and pro-inflammatory cytokines. These are some of the chemicals the body releases and ages people fast. When we fast regularly, these chemicals, body don't release them as much. So the person tends to live longer and healthier. And there are scenarios to support this. There's some places in part of the world, real places, call them the blue zones of the world, where people live averagely to 100 years comfortably. And some of them, it's actually in those, scientists went to those regions to find out why these people, you see them, an average person living to 100 years comfortably without the diseases. And some of them, they notice that they actually fast. In fact, there is one of them in Greece called Ikaria. These people, they fast an average of 150 days in a year. And you now see that apart from other things they are doing, they live up to 100 years comfortably with minimal diseases. So these are some of the things that we are encouraging people to do.
Thank you so much, Dr.
Thank you very much, sir.
Abiodun. As we wrap up because of our time, now, I want you to also reiterate the fact that apart from, people looking at the pain of then abstaining from their food and from the pleasure they derive from what they eat, that fasting is of benefit. So do that in a way of concluding in about 30 seconds.
Thank you very much. So I would like to say that in this world we are living now, a lot of diseases are on the rise, especially these chronic conditions, hypertension, diabetes, cancers, etc. So, and we have noticed that if people fast regularly, they can reduce the risk or the possibility of having these conditions, and even if they have them, from having a severe form. So because of that, we are encouraging people to fast. Aside the spiritual benefits, many of these health benefits will come along and they'll be better for it.
Thank you so much, Dr. Abiodun Adelowo. We really appreciate you for giving us this opportunity to enlighten all and sundry. Thank you, and the Lord will keep blessing you and blessing your knowledge in the name of Jesus Christ.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, so to you have heard today that apart from the fact that we derive a whole lot of spiritual benefit from fasting, also we derive physical benefit that is health-wise when we fast. So I want to encourage you, fasting does more of good than harm. That food, that meal, that drink, you could do away with them for sometimes and focus in fasting. It brings, like Daddy Joe will always teach us that no bird flies with one wings. Birds fly with two wings. That is, you can get double benefit, spiritual benefit and health benefit when you fast. So I also join my voice to that of Dr. Abiodun Adelowo. Do fast and do it regularly. The Lord bless you in Jesus' name. My name is Mike Adekunle. Bye for now.